Youth and Nature is an organisation based in Hull that works with young people in order to reorientate them to their experience with the environment. They got in touch with Groundwork a short time ago in order to find out whether we could work with them to not only educate them as to the principles of being a landscape architect, but also to help them to understand the process involved in designing and installing a public open space in Hull. They got in touch with us and together we had a look at the site, discussed the site, surveyed it. I then worked with them during that day in order to describe the process of landscape architecture and really the sequence of actions that are involved in working to design up a public open space. The next stage in the process, we organised for the steering group of young people, about 10 young people, to come over to Groundworks in Morley and work with us for a day. We had one group which was to do with drawing and sketching, we had another group which was working with Photoshop, and a third group which was working with creating a model. And we encouraged all of the steering group to work with us to design up, really using their own ideas and potential ideas to design up the site overall. In the meantime, they suggested a whole range of different items, which we took as, if you like, a subsidiary brief in order to explore the kind of approaches that they would like to involve in the design of this garden, complete with allotments and wildlife and nature areas, and how they would like to actually relate to the site itself. We had a very successful day. They enjoyed themselves and they produced an enormous amount of material which was extremely valuable to us. As a result of this, I took their material, and based on their material I designed up a site that was really itemizing out all of their different hopes and wishes for the actual site itself. This took a period of about 4 or 5 weeks, and subsequent to that I went over to Hull in order to really give a presentation. The presentation was very open-handed, and the idea was that whatever we talked about, they should be able to comment, raise questions, discuss, make suggestions, and as a result of that I would be more than happy to obviously take away the design and work on it in order to come up with a final design solution. The presentation actually went very well. They appeared to be pleased with what was suggested. The questions actually lasted for a good half an hour, I would have thought, with all sorts of input from the steering group itself. There seemed to be an enormous amount of commitment from them, and they seemed to be very much keyed into the idea of actually working to help deliver the actual project itself as volunteers. It is so important that local community groups get involved in understanding and working in order to enable their own environment, because that provides them with a feeling of ownership. It makes the site very specific to their own needs. This is something which we would encourage. It is well worth them understanding the process, that it is not just a question of local authority, but actually that they have their own investment within their own environment, and that we would really like to encourage.